What is your definition of success? A, wealth, B, family, C, peace of mind, or D, creative freedom?
There are about 10 people out there in the world. They have all the money they want in the world. To start with, like Donald Trump, Bezos, Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Putin, Netanyahu, Xi, Kim Jong-un.
Gratitude is a big factor in feeling joy, just like being grateful for being alive today.
The difference between happiness and joy. Happiness is external. Joy is from within.
So in the chapter you talk about wealth of gratitude and wealth of nature. What would your life have to look like in order for you to be able to claim you're successful?
Me first? I think mainly a positive mindset, for sure. Yeah.
So, I kind of go back many years, and I realized success to me is level of joy. And that's what I try to teach my students. And that's what I adopted as a philosophy in life.
Mm-hmm.
Joy.
Yeah. So neither of your answers said anything to do with money.
No. I think money is needed to be joyful.
I think that people with different goals for self-fulfillment. Somebody like Jeff Bezos would be like claimed as successful, whereas like the stay-at-home mom that got 8 kids after college, she would also I think people just have different goals.
You didn't mention Donald Trump.
I don't know. I didn't want to open the can of worms. Do you think he's successful? Do you think he's self-fulfilled?
He?
Yeah.
He is the biggest loser in the world.
Yeah.
He thinks he's successful.
Yeah.
But we don't want to talk about it.
So if self-fulfillment is an ongoing journey, like you mentioned in the book, are you ever really self-fulfilled?
You want me to talk to you?
Oh, it's just a good question.
Good.
I want to hear your answer.
Okay. So, in my way of thinking, that's like a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of keep moving toward that goal. And you don't necessarily reach a point where you don't need to work on it anymore. You continue to work on it. And you keep going higher and higher and higher.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an ongoing journey in life.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think, like I mentioned before, like society pushes like a version of self-fulfillment, and what it's supposed to look like? Like money and cars and houses.
Well, actually, I went through that as an exercise. I went to Harvard Business School OPM program, and mind you, everybody in that class was highly successful, mm-hmm. because that was the qualifying criteria to be accepted in the program. So then, first week they said you need to analyze yourself, and here is the criteria, which was developed by Forbes magazine, which kind of gets into your network, education, professional achievement, on and on and on, everything. Mm-hmm. So, based on that, I was rated very high. And I said, it doesn't make any sense because I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
How could it be that high? But I again would sort of say that the reason I achieved that was again because I adopted concept of joy and right brain thinking and inspired by Betty Edwards that I talk about sometime in the book. So those are the things which led me to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And in some ways, we had a guy at AnxietyScore, John Klein, and he said, AnxietyScore is a digital copy of me. You know?
So in the chapter you mentioned like Stoicism, which is basically control what you can't, control what you can, accept what you can't, and then live in tune with nature's flow. So it sounds easy, but like, do you think like with the constant chaos in 2025, like, is that really like an attainable goal?
Well, yeah, because that's not something based on outside. That's your mindset.
Okay.
There's, now, before I explain it, let me mention something. The difference between happiness and joy. Happiness is external. Joy is from within. It just is the main difference between the happiness and joy.
So tune out the extra.
Yeah.
Because my next question was, how does Stoicism tie into self-fulfillment? So.
Well, again, it goes back to what I said, like mindset,
Mm-hmm.
Not everything is the same for everybody. So what you believe in becomes your reality.
Mm-hmm.
And mine is my reality, and April's is her reality. So we all kind of have our own reality, right? Do you have a reality?
I do. It goes here and then it goes there. But my main reality is what's inside.
Yes.
My external circumstances will change based off what I think about.
Yeah.
So the only thing that's real is like here.
Okay. So the chapter talks about fulfillment coming from growth, purpose, authentic living, healthy relationships, and creativity. What do you think people neglect the most of these?
I don't know if you can say people neglect the most, because different people neglect
Different things.
I mean, from all those things you mentioned, they're all important.
Yeah.
If you look at it, any one of those things create a balanced approach to anyone's life.
Yeah.
Now, some people may lack in relationships, some in something else. But in order to achieve fulfillment, you need all of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the chapter lists like fear of failure, procrastination, external pressures, and negative self-talk. So, like, which of these do you think stops people the most from being self-fulfilled?
Negative talk.
Negative self-talk.
Well, see, what happens is our mind, we're very sensitive.
Yeah.
And we can hurt it by negative talk. In fact, I sometimes talk about social media, especially Instagram, Facebook, as algorithm which catches people who have been involved with negative talk or low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start comparing themselves with others. And they start feeling worse and worse and worse. They go in a downward spiral until they kill themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So in fact, months ago, Mr. Zuckerberg was apologizing to all the parents for the kids that lost their lives because of the social media. And the algorithm these projects he has, like Facebook and Instagram, because their success comes from screen time. The more screen time they have, the better they have financial benefit from. But it also hurts kids or anybody who dwells on social media, and that negative talk propels further and just keeps going down the hill.
Yeah.
And so that, I think, is the most damaging thing one could do to him or herself. Because there is really nothing wrong with us. I mean, even if we may have some problems, but there's no reason to beat ourselves up.
Do you agree with that in your personal life?
I do agree that there is like nothing wrong with us. I do think that sometimes when you feed into a certain algorithm, like perhaps like you're feeling not that beautiful that day, and there's like tips and tricks on how to be more beautiful, and you keep feeding into the algorithm and more videos keep popping up, and you do spiral into this like negative self-talk, which leads to you asking, is there something wrong with me? Which is like never the case at all. But it's just because you are, the way that you think is like a main influence of how you are going to perceive social media. I love social media. I post on TikTok all the time, but I have to make sure that like I don't feed into or give too much attention to like topics that are like not beneficial to me.
Like the quick glow up tips.
Yeah, so I'm just like, okay, I'll watch one, but that's it.
Yeah.
Because the more that I give into it, the more that I give my mind like time to focus, the more that I will attract these. Oh, well, you're ugly. Ah! You know, that's just the way that my day's gonna go. So in moderation, yeah, but also I'm gonna protect my subconscious.
Okay. Nice. So we can say you're successful in self-fulfilled. So what challenge arose the most during your climb to success? What challenge of these that I listed from the chapter do you think? Do you think it was negative self-talk or?
I'm trying to think the challenges. You know, I would say it was mostly how I dealt with everything, because my wife always said that anything I touch became gold. I said, I don't think I have Midas touch. But true that everything that I had done in my life, how I dealt with it, became gold. For instance, one of the main philosophies in life that I used was that everything I did, I owned it myself. I didn't blame others for if it didn't work.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he screwed up, she screwed up.
So accountability.
Me.
Yeah.
If it didn't work, it's really because of me.
Yeah.
Not anyone else. Okay. So that I would say has really helped me a lot.
Nice. Because this part of the chapter really intrigued me. So I wanted to have one more question on it. But do you think these things people more use as an excuse to not attain their goals?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, excuses, blaming others, negative talk, beating yourself up for no reason.
Yeah.
It doesn't help.
No. So in the chapter you talk about wealth of gratitude and wealth of nature. Do you think we undervalue this as opposed to material wealth?
Yes.
Yeah.
So see, even me, it took me a long time to value nature and gratitude, because early part of my life, I was focused on money, and those things were secondary.
And that's how AnxietyScore came about?
Yeah. But then I realized that making money that I was making was not joyful life, but the sense of gratitude and nature. And in fact, there was something I learned a while back. There's a preacher in Inglewood who talks about attitude of gratitude. And I think that's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So when I realized that if you can develop that attitude of gratitude, it pretty much solves a lot of stuff, because the strength it has in itself is just phenomenal.
Yeah. So I have a question for you two, but I think I already know the answer, judging from what you guys are saying. So I wanted to include the rest of our team, Jacob and Bobby, to answer as well. So if I offered you $1 million or inner peace, which one are you taking?
Define inner peace.
Inner peace.
Well, if
I'll answer because I feel like I have, at this very moment, this present time, not the past, not the future, but at this very time, I do have inner peace.
Yeah.
With $10 million, with inner peace, I feel like I could give.
Yeah.
Because I'm at peace inside. I'm not like desperate for money. I'm like, oh my god, I need to be grateful or greedy.
Yeah.
So I would probably give because I'm in a state of peace and gratitude.
Yeah. I know you.
so, yeah, I mean, I definitely don't need the money.
Yeah.
But I've always enjoyed inner peace. And perhaps, somebody was telling me that the reason I live a life that I do because I have all the money I need.
Yeah.
So I don't need to think about those things that people think about.
Yeah.
But again, and I seriously, and perhaps it's not a bad thing to talk about it just briefly. I'm not trying to bash anyone, but there are about 10 people out there in the world, They have all the money they want in the world.
No inner peace.
Huh?
No inner peace.
No inner peace. Like, to start with, like Donald Trump, Bezos, Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Putin, Netanyahu, Xi, Kim Jong-un. I mean, these people have everything they want, but no inner peace. And they have not learned what the meaning is in attitude of gratitude. Because they do nothing for anybody else. It's all for themselves.
Yeah.
And to me, that's living a life of an animal.
Yeah.
That's what dogs and cats do. They live for themselves.
Yeah.
When you step out and start thinking of others, that's where life starts.
Yeah.
And there are very few people who are fortunate enough to realize that.
Yeah. Are you guys taking the money or the inner peace?
I think, for me, if, I'm just to quote what April said, is, I'm in a state of receiving.
Yeah.
I have the inner peace currently, right? So it's I'm also not desperate for money.
Yeah.
But if I were to receive something, I would be ready to receive it and do my due diligence on, spreading, giving more, right? Because what you give is ultimately coming back, right? So it's I would take it, but to do greater good with it, you know what I mean? And for myself, my family, right? But I'm in a state where I know financially, I'm financially responsible and know how to properly, maximize that, right? So.
Okay.
May I define mine real quick? I just want to do it real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't answer. I just asked you what's the
Oh,
question.
okay.
Dare her. No, I'm just kidding. So I would say, if you remove inner peace, I tend to think you might subtract some drive away from me. And that is part of the beauty of this lack of interviews, is that weird, questionable motivation to do things or to succeed or to improve. And so I think money would be critical because I wouldn't want to subtract from the drive.
No.
If that's what it means.
So, studies show joy and fulfillment are deeply linked. So, do you think joy leads to fulfillment or fulfillment leads to joy?
That's more of a question like chicken and egg.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which one?
They're just deeply linked.
Yeah, they're both very heavily linked and related.
Yeah.
And fulfillment, joy, and you could have gratitude as part of that equation, because once you do that, then everything becomes a bit easier.
Yeah. So what's one tool from the book that viewers can do today to move closer to fulfillment?
One thing they could do?
Yeah, the first step.
April?
I genuinely feel that gratitude is a big factor in feeling joy. Just like being grateful for being alive today. Like even that, saying that in the morning, like even like 3 things. Like I'm grateful for air, I'm grateful for life, and I'm grateful for the plumbing system so that I can use the restroom. Not like people take that for granted. I know I do. But I think just being grateful.
So do you like do that as an everyday practice?
I feel like I have to. That's like I think the term is like non-negotiable for me.
Nice.
Wake up and then be grateful, and then a couple of deep breaths, and then we're out.
Because I know you are a fan of that too. Yeah. Writing
it sets your mind in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's like, there's one thing not many people do, In fact, I talk to people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most difficult thing for people to do is to be able to wake up early.
Yeah.
So there are many factors in life which lead you to success. In fact, I think it was Roosevelt Franklin who said that early to bed, early to rise makes man healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Yeah.
And I don't think I started doing that because of that, because I hadn't even heard of that. But somehow it realized that morning hours, the time in the morning before the sunrise, is the most precious time of the day. And I know people get up early.
Yeah.
And some people do, some don't, But I think if we can learn to be grateful when we wake up and be able to wake up early are the 2 things which can really help us. Anybody.
Yeah.
Because these are not the things, by the way, that only some people can have and some can't,
Yeah.
There is no requirement of such. So everybody can wake up early and enjoy their life,
Yeah.
And some who don't want to, that's okay too, because that's what the world is all about. Some have everything and some don't have anything.
Yeah. So I have a quick did you know segment. I can just rattle them off or you can chime in. But did you know that workplace burnout is at an all-time high this year? So I do have a question, sorry. Do you think our culture blocks fulfillment more than encouraging it? Like with the day-to-day, what's expected of people?
I wouldn't say blocks, but there are a lot of things which get in our way.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Did you know that research from Harvard found people who prioritize meaning and purpose in life report higher long-term happiness compared to those who prioritize money and status?
Absolutely.
Do you have an example of somebody
who doesn't? Me?
Donald Trump. I mean,
Oh. See, just prodding me to talk about Donald Trump, you know.
did you know that Stoic practice of daily reflection is almost identical to what modern psychologists recommend today with journaling?
Right.
It's 2,000 years before self-care was even a thing.
So, you know, I have used journaling in my classes.
Yeah.
And there was a reason, because when I started teaching, I wanted my students to get the most out of my teaching, lectures and stuff. So I realized that by writing things, your comprehension goes much higher.
Mm-hmm.
So journaling is a similar kind of an idea. You have some thoughts, you journal it, you write it, you can reflect on it, you can review it, you can modify it. Just as a good way of living a life.
Yeah. And then I wanted to do like an audience poll. So I'm going to ask a question and then you write your answer below, and I'll read the answers like next week. But what is your definition of success? A, wealth, B, family, C, peace of mind, or D, creative freedom? So do you guys have an answer?
To me, creative freedom is inner peace. I feel my absolute happiest when I can create freely, because then I hit like a state of flow, and that's when like I feel like my intuition kicks in, so I start making all of this amazing art, and I'm technically like free.
And that's the right side of the brain, yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So that's what our book's about. So,
Very
thank you, Professor Joy. Thank you, April.
Thank you.
See you next week.
That was a good podcast.